Hey guys, welcome to this new module of the course. This is going to get really interesting because we are about to get into winning products. So the goal of this module is to have a framework that will soon get natural to evaluate those products. And how can we judge if a product is a winner or not? To me, a winning product is a product that makes at least 20K in profit. And it may seem little, but if you're not focused only on one product and you launch new products repeatedly, 20K profit is pretty decent because if you find one winning product per week, then you will make at least 80K per month and more than $1 million a year. And that's how I defined a winning product internally. And so how to identify a winning product, or we should talk about potential winning product before launching it. We don't know if it's going to be a winner or not. So the goal is to find potential winning products. And we're going to analyze the market, the money, a no-go zone, and the wow effect. So there is this secret that there is one guy who knows if a product is going to be a winner. Only one guy, and this guy is the market. So the market. The biggest opportunity in dropshipping is that because we all sell the same product, you can apply the number one rule to making money in this modern world that you probably already have heard of. Don't reinvent the wheel, do what works. We have this huge database of products that we all can sell, and we cannot call this copy each other because nobody of us dropshippers own those products, own the patents. And we're so lucky because pretty much all those products have already been tested or are being tested by some other stores, and the market do some pre-validations of product. So this should be the main thing you should focus on. Is this product validated or pre-validated by the market? So a product that is pre-validated by the market means that it is already selling well on another store by someone else. So it creates many opportunities. First, it creates a saturation opportunity, which means that if it's only sold by one or two stores, it's unlikely that the market is already saturated and there are already room for someone else. And if you're looking in one country on one network and you think that the product is already saturated or too complicated to penetrate, then there are more opportunities. There is a market opportunity. With dropshipping, we're again really lucky because when something is selling well in a country, we can sell to all other countries that can basically pay online and that we can deliver to. So when the market validates a product, it creates also a market opportunity because we can sell this product anywhere in the world. And this also creates a network opportunity that very few dropshippers are taking advantage of in their product research. We all consume social networks, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, or YouTube. There are room for everyone in those different networks. Let me explain. They all have different people consuming them, and very few of us are consuming them all. So if a product is doing well or has done well on Facebook, maybe it has its chances on Pinterest, or maybe a product that is doing well on TikTok can be launched on Facebook. Of course, it depends on the product, it depends on the audience, but basically there are many winners that have been tested on some networks, especially Facebook, that have not been tested on some very unsaturated networks. But do not forget the obvious, because you cannot exactly judge the saturation of a product or if maybe someone you didn't see has the monopoly. Another obvious thing that you should think of is that not all products will fit in all markets. Obviously, and I've already seen it, a portable heater that is selling well in Canada won't work in summer in Australia. So try to avoid these kind of mistakes. And all networks and tools are not fitted for everyone. For example, on Pinterest, we have a pretty young audience, even if it's getting older. So you will be avoiding to launch products that cost more than $100, or you won't try to sell like the latest funny TikTok gadget on Facebook or Pinterest, which are older networks. When the market has validated your products, then comes the second criteria, money. And the question you should be asking yourself is, can I make money with it? When doing paid ads, given the fact that you have to spend a minimum to sell those products, I would suggest to avoid products below $10. And the higher the price of a product, the more you will have to spend to test. If you are starting, try with $15 to $40 product. And this is a rule of thumb. You can try to sell $10 products and have hell of a success with it, or do high ticket dropshipping and sell products that cost more than $100. But again, the higher the price, the more you will have to spend on it to test it, and maybe it won't be a winner. So if you're in the beginning or if you're on a budget, I would advise to try cheaper products. And the rule of thumb should be a 30% margin. It's not general. There are people that say that you should aim for 10% margin, 20%, 50%. And as a rule of thumb, you should aim for a 30% margin. This is a rule of thumb. The question you should really ask is, can I make a decent amount of money from each sale? Because as you can see here, and this is of course an exaggerated example, a 40% margin on a $7 product making 500 orders a month will make $1,200 in profit. Whether a 20% margin on an $80 product, if you make $100 a month, is $1,600 in profit. So it really depends on the price. It depends on the CPA. It depends on the price on the product, and really ask yourself, can I make a decent amount on each sale? And many people are wondering how to evaluate your sale price. Again, think with the market, just look at what price it is selling well for. So just look at your competitors that are doing great with this product, so you can have an idea of how much you can sell it for, more or less. Here, I put the formulas for the margin calculation if you want to do it yourself, but I have created a product validator grid that you will have with this course, and that will calculate that automatically. 3, after having validated the market and if you can make money with it, you should be careful of the no-goes. And my personal question to enter this is, would I like my family to have this product? Or if you have a little bit less ethic, can I get in trouble with this product? And you should be avoiding licensed products, fragile or electronic products, because they are often delivered broken. And when you have a huge number of sales, it can ruin your product and reputation. You should avoid baby or cosmetics products unless you're 100% sure that they have the right certifications. You should avoid a product that have bad reviews on the supplier websites, and all products that have some potential legal issues. And trust me, there are enough products to avoid those ones. You might see a no-go zone product that is doing really well, but trust me, you want to be avoiding this, because testing this product is just not understanding the opportunity of dropshipping, which has having this huge panel of products to test and choosing the one product that can get you in trouble, and in some cases even get you in prison. So avoid those products. And 4, but to me this is a bonus, the wow effect. Many people put this at their number 1 criteria for winning products. So they ask themselves, does this product has a real benefit? Does it product a wow effect? Meaning when you see the ad, do you say, wow? Is it a mass market product? And do you have a personal fit for the products? And to me, all those criteria are nice, but too uncertain or personal to be taken into account. I've seen too many products that have nothing to do with those criteria that were excellent winners. We're nobody to judge if product has a real benefit or not. It's the market that will decide it. If it produces a wow effect, it's not necessary. And if it's a mass market product, we don't know all the market or their sizes, so we cannot know that either. So all those are nice to have, and for sure it will help if your product has a real benefit. You can market it. If it has a wow effect, probably it will be easier to produce good creative. And if it's a mass market product, probably we'll be able to scale it higher. But for me, again, unless we do some huge market research, which would be completely unproductive, instead of just letting the market decide if it can work or not, given the fact that it is already working for someone else, that only bonuses criteria. And those two products are really good examples. I think you have already seen this water gun on TikTok that has been selling really well. It is not a mass market product and it has no real benefit. It only has the wow effect. And this door knocker that I would never have thought would be a winning product if I have to judge myself. But as you can see, it has 6,000 reaction and 4,000 comments, and it's an ad I found. So yes, people are putting money on this ad, which means it must be profitable and they must get sales from it. So in conclusion, you should do what works. And to know if a product is a potential winner, you should just ask yourself those four. Did it work for someone else? Can I make money with it? Is there a no-go zone? And would I love my family to have this product? Can me or my client get in trouble with it? And the wow effect would be a bonus. And of course, if you have better feeling with one product compared to another, you should go with it if it has equivalent other criteria. And we'll see that later, but if the answer is no to one of the first three questions, you should just move to the next product. So common objections, question, misunderstanding I'm asked a lot is, am I suggesting you to steal other winning products? And there are no such thing as stealing winning products in dropshipping, because we are selling from the same supplier products we did not invented, design, create, manufactured. And some people think that someone else is copying their winning product, but that's not the case. And you'll probably have it like a competitor you have never seen in your life coming to you and saying, oh, you copied my winning product also. So that's just a miss. Something you can copy is the copy, the creative, the store, the branding, and don't do it. But you should never be afraid about copying another winning product. That's the whole point of dropshipping. We are all selling the same product. The only thing you should not be doing, if one of your friends says, oh, I have this new winning product, just don't launch it the same time as him, because he might not be happy about it. And another thing I've been seeing a lot is that any product can be a winner. And that's absolutely true. Let me tell you this little story about a guy, a great marketer, who were confident enough in his skills that he decided to sell rocks in the form of pet rocks. He did millions with them, and that proved that yes, any product can be a winner. But to make any product a winner, you have to be a great and excellent marketer. And if you are already an excellent marketer, then you are on the wrong path. If you think you can make any product a winner, then you will make way more money in marketing. And another common, real funny thing I hear is that we should aim for untapped product that has not been tested by anyone. And this is the most funny myth of dropshipping, because to create a product in a factory, you have to create molds, design, put engineers, and invent the product, and it costs thousands of dollars. So when a factory decides to produce new product, it means that they are pretty sure this product will sell and that it has already been tested. So you can forget about being the first to launch a product you find on AliExpress. Of course, there are products that have not been sold by many people, and those are gems, but forget about this idea. Next, we're going to see how to find those products, and first, the different product research methods.